Hello, children. Welcome. And this is a discussion about the kingdom fungi because I had discussed about the other kingdoms, but only the kingdoms which are left are fungi kingdom and kingdom plantae and kingdom animalae. Plant kingdom and animal kingdom and fungi. These three kingdoms are left in the chapter बायोलॉजिकल क्लासिफिकेशन. सो ये फंगस जो है या फंगाई किंगडम जो है ये बहुत ही सुना हुआ नाम है एंड दिस इज अराउंड अस, इट इज़ एवरीवेयर. इट इज़ कॉल्ड, इट इज़ सेड that the fungi are cosmopolitan. They are found in all the places and they are, that is why they are called cosmopolitan. In air, in land, in water, in other substances, in all the decaying or dead plants, animals, everywhere they are found. So what are the characteristics? फंगस नेचुरली हम लोग जब सुनते हैं तो हमारे माइंड में आता है कि दिस इज़ अ वेरी हार्मफुल ऑर्गेनिज्म. बट व्हाट इज़ अ सेल टाइप? सेल टाइप इट इज़ यूकैरियोटिक. यूकैरियोटिक है तो न्यूक्लियस जो है वेल डिफाइंड है एंड देयर इज न्यूक्लियर मेम्ब्रेन ऑल्सो एंड अदर मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड ऑर्गेनिल्स आर ऑल्सो देयर. सो इट इज़ बेसिकली इट इज़ अ यूकैरियोटिक ऑर्गेनिज्म with well defined nucleus. And then what is the cell wall? Cell wall is there in a fungus, but it is made up of chitin and polysaccharide, not of cellulose. So this is the difference. And now what is the position of nuclear membrane? I said the nuclear membrane is also there. So cellular structure, what is the cellular organization? It is can be, most of them are multicellular, but a few like yeast is unicellular. So this is the cellular organization in fungus. फंगाई में ज़्यादातर जो है वो मल्टी सेलुलर है, लेकिन कुछ जैसे ईस्ट जो है वो यूनिसेलुलर भी है. और इनके स्ट्रक्चर के बारे में अगर बोला जाए, अगर बात किया जाए तो इनका स्ट्रक्चर कैसा है? फंगस कैसे देखने में लगता है? ये एक इलोंगेटेड थ्रेड लाइक स्ट्रक्चर है बॉडी का, एंड द नेटवर्क ऑफ दिस थ्रेड लाइक स्ट्रक्चर विच इज़ कॉल्ड हाइपी, द नेटवर्क ऑफ हाइपी इज कॉल्ड माइसेलियम. ये जो थ्रेड लाइक या फिंगर लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स है, इलोंगेटेड, लंबा लंबा, हाँ, तो ये स्ट्रक्चर है, इनको क्या कहते हैं? हाइपी कहते हैं. इनको सेल नहीं कहते हैं. एक्चुअली these are like the cells of other organisms, but in fungus or fungi we call them hyphae. Children, if you remember these facts, it will be easy to memorize all these facts. So hyphae क्या है? It is just like cells of other body of other organisms, and network of hyphae is mycelium. So this is about the structure, and there are some hyphae, tube-like hyphaes, continuous tubes or structures which are filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. जिनको क्या बोलते हैं? जिनको सिनोसाइटिक hyphae बोलते हैं. Sinusotic hyphae means some few hyphaes are continuously elongated and they are filled with multinucleated cytoplasm. तो इनको क्या कहते हैं? दे आर कॉल्ड सिनोसाइटिक हाइपी. सो दिस इज अबाउट द मेन पॉइंट्स अबाउट द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ फंगाई. नाउ मोड ऑफ रिप्रोडक्शन इन फंगस और फंगाई is very important, because based on the structure of mycelium and the mode of reproduction, this kingdom has been divided into 4 classes. What are they? They are Phycomycetes, they are Ascomycetes, they are and Basidiomycetes and Deuteromycetes. So there are 4 classes in fungi. I repeat, phaeocomycetes, ascomycetes, basidiomycetes, and deuteriomycetes. So, phaeocomycetes, you remember, if you remember, phaeocomycetes, phaeco means similar to, in combination, so that is phaeocomycetes, because this class, fungi in this class are also called algal fungi. They look like algae, filamentous. So that is why the name is phaeocomycetes. Very similar in combination, can be in combination somewhere in symbiosis like lichen. So like this, this kingdom has been classified into phaeocomycetes. The structure of phaeocomycetes is aseptate. The mycelium is aseptate and sinusoidal. As I just discussed, sinusoidal. So the structure of mycelium in phaeocomycetes is aseptate and sinusoidal. That means no septum in the hyphae cells. There is no septum in the hyphae cells. So this is the first feature about the mycelium of phaeocomycetes fungi. And about habitat, these are mostly aquatic, can be found in decaying woods, moist and damp places, so that they are present almost everywhere. So this is about the habitat of phaeocomycetes. And about the reproduction, there can be three modes of reproduction here. There can be vegetative, asexual and sexual. Vegetative means part of the fungus gets detached and becomes reproductive. So that is vegetative mode. That can be your fragmentation and your budding, etc. So these are the vegetative modes in the reproduction. And other than this, you are seeing here the diagram. That is the sexual and asexual mode in fungi, especially in phaeocomycetes, because both the modes takes place there. Mycelium you are seeing here, a network of hyphae. This is the hyphae. The network of hyphae is called the mycelium. Now here you are seeing asexual mode in phaeocomycetes. For example, I have taken mucor. Mucor is an example of phaeocomycetes. So what will happen is, from the mycelium, one hyphae will rhiza will be elongated more, and at the tip, a gonadiospore will be formed, and if this gonadiospore, gonadioidium or gonadioidium or sporangium is formed, which is containing the spores. So, in favorable condition, what happens is, when these spores mature, the sporangium bursts and these spores are spread by air, and when the favorable conditions are there, the spores will germinate a new hyphae. So this is asexual mode of reproduction in phaeocomycetes. From mucor, one hyphae is elongated more, and at the tip, what is happening? A gonadiospore. This is the gonadiospore, which is forming a gonadioidium or sporangium. In this swollen part, this part swells at the tip, and this is called the sporangium, and this sporangium spores are there. When it bursts after ripening, what is happening? This sporangium bursts and spores are separated. So again, these spores can give rise to a fresh hyphae when they are separated from the sporangium. In favorable conditions, they give rise to sporangium. That will give rise to a fresh hyphae. So students have to understand this very clearly, that what is happening in asexual. Asexual means the gametes will not fuse. It is only the spores which are giving rise to asexual reproduction. So from nuclear, for example, one hyphae or two hyphae, few hyphaes will get more elongated, and at the tip, this gonadiophore, this is the gonadiophore, this hyphae, which has been elongated more. This gonadiophore will swell here at the tip, and the swollen part is the gonadiodendium or sporangium, and this swollen part is containing the sporangium. This is called the sporangium, and this is containing the gonadia or spores or zoospores. They are also called zoospores. So this is final. This is you understood how zoospores are getting assembled here, and when they ripe or when ripening takes place, they burst and they come out, and then this gonadia or spores or zoospore can give rise to a fresh hyphae. So this is asexual reproduction, and then in sexual reproduction, what will happen? You see, sexual reproduction in mucus, what is happening? Gametangium. You see here, two haploid hyphae. What are the steps in sexual reproduction? First of all, the cytoplasm will fuse of two haploid hyphae of preferably of different strains. So that is called the plasmogamy. Two cytoplasm will cytoplasm of two hyphae will fuse, and that is plasmogamy. And then when cytoplasm are fusing, the nucleus will also fuse, the nucleus of the two hyphae cells. So that will cause karyogamy. And after karyogamy has taken place, a zygote will be formed, which will undergo meiosis. And by meiosis, what will happen? Haploid cells will be there, and they will give rise to haploid hyphae. So these haploid hyphae will fuse. So this is happening. What is happening in sexual reproduction? You see two hyphae of different strains have come together, and by their tips have come together, and then what is being formed? Gametangium is formed. In this structure, the spores will be formed. Those spores are called zygospores. And when this is happening, the zygospores will be contained in the sporangium, and the hyphae which has come up is called the promycelium. So the promycelium will contain the sporangium, and in the sporangium, zygospores will be there. From zygospores, again, fresh IPs will be generated. So this is what is happening in the sexual reproduction in mucus. And here I described of the asexual reproduction. So this is about the sexual and asexual reproduction of in mucus. That is a member of phycomycetes. So phycomycetes members are in general having this kind of asexual and sexual reproduction. And then we come to the other groups, which are, what are they? They are the ascomycetes, and ascomycetes members, what they are having, the features they are having is they are saprophytic, they work as decomposers, they are can be parasitic also, and this very special feature of this ascomycetes and basidiomycetes members are that they are in dikaryotic stage. That means a cell in which two nuclei, one from each parent, are there, and they are there. They share. They are there for a period of time. In a single cytoplasm, two nuclei are there. So this is called dikaryotic, and this exists in both ascomycetes and also in basidiomycetes. So what about the other features of this classes? Ascomycetes, I said, is examples of penicillin or yeast, commonly known as the sac fungi. This is known as the sac fungi. These important points you have to remember, students. Penicillium is a member of, this fungus is a member of ascomycetes. And why penicillium is so important? Because the first antibiotic was discovered from this fungus, that is penicillium. And the discoverer was, who was the discoverer? Alexander Fleming. So children, you have to remember these points. They are saprophytic decomposers, as I said, parasitic also. And another feature can be there in their mode of nutrition, that is, they can be coprophilous. Coprophilous means growing on dung. Mycelium is branched and septate. Mycelium is branched and septate. The septum is there. The cells of the hyphae are divided by septums. The asexual spores are conidia produced exogenously on the special mycelium called conidiospores. So like in the class of phycomycetes, here also asexual and sexual this thing is reproduction is taking place. The asexual spores are conidia spores, are conidia, which are produced in the special mycelium called the conidiophores. And sexually, they are also reproducing by spores, which are called ascospores, which are produced in a sac-like structure. So that is why sac-like structure, which is called asci or asci. That is why they are put into the class which is known as ascomycetes. So where are these pores are being produced? They are produced endogenously, but means internally in sac-like asci or singular ascus. Singular is ascus. That is why they are called sac fungi. because these sexual reproductive spores are produced in the structure which is known as in a sac-like structure. Understood? In a sac-like structure which is called SI, and that is why they are called the sac fungi. And here there are some fungi which are very, very helpful also, like your claviceps and neurospora. Neurospora is used extensively in biochemical and genetic work. Many members like morels and truffles are edible and are considered delicacies. So these are the beneficial aspects of the fungi which belong to this class, that is Ascomycetes. And Basidiomycetes, when you come to this Basidiomycetes, commonly known forms of Basidiomycetes are mushrooms, bracket fungi, or puff balls. They grow in soil or logs and tree stumps and in living plant bodies as parasites, rust and smuts. One of the fungi which is causing white rust in wheat is named as Puccinia. So the mycelium is branched and septate. The asexual, these points of the which are the features of the mycelium, you have to remember in the different classes. So here what is happening? The mycelium is branched and septate. The asexual spores are generally not found, but here asexual spores are not found in this class, Basidiomycetes, right? Generally not found, but vegetatively reproduction can happen by fragmentation is very common. The sex organs are absent, but plasmogamy is brought about by fusion of two vegetative or somatic cells of different strains or genotypes. The resultant structure is dikaryotic, which ultimately gives rise to basidium. So I had mentioned this about dikaryotic. You know, one cell is having two nuclei from both the parents, and they remain there for some time, and they are called the dikaryotic cells. They ultimately give rise to a 2N, that is diploid basidium. Karyogamy and meiosis take place in the basidium, producing 4 basidiospores. Then these diploid meiosis will take place, and these diploid cells will again give rise to 2, so that means 4 in total will be produced. 4 basidiospores. The basidiospores are exogenously produced on the basidium. The basidia are arranged in floating bodies called basidiocarps. So these things you have to remember, students. Some common members are agaricus, that is mushroom. The actual scientific name of mushroom is agaricus. Figures are there in your book, so just remember the salient features. And the last class in this kingdom is Deuteromycetes, which is called incomplete, which is known as incomplete or imperfect fungi, because only the asexual or vegetative phases of this fungi are known. Sexual phase is not known. When the sexual forms of these fungi were discovered, they were moved into classes they rightly belong to. So their sexual phase belongs to some other classes. It is also possible that the asexual and vegetative stage have been given one name and placed under Deuteromycetes. So asexual and vegetative phase has been put into this class, that is Deuteromycetes, or imperfect fungi, and the sexual stage has been put into another class, because in this particular class the sexual phase is not found. Later, when the linkages were established, the fungi were correctly identified and moved out of Deuteromycetes. when the linkages, that is DNA, structure of DNA and the linkages with genes were established, the fungi were correctly identified and moved out of deuteromycetes. So there is a confusion here in deuteromycetes, and that is why it is known as imperfect fungi, because only asexual and vegetative mode of reproduction is there. Sexual mode is not found here. So they most probably they have been classified into some other class based on their DNA linking, etc. Once perfect sexual stages of members of deuteromycetes were discovered, they were often moved to ascomycetes and basidiomycetes. The deuteromycetes reproduce only by asexual spores known as conidia. The mycelium is septate and branched. Some members are saprophytes or parasites, while a large number of them are decomposers of litter and help in mineral cycling. Some examples are Alternaria, Colitricum and Trichoderma. So these are the examples of deuteromites, mycetes, which is also known as the imperfect fungi. Examples, you have to remember one or two, which can help you in the exams to answer the questions. Which fungi belong to which class? Like this, the questions come. So, children, you have to remember these names whenever you are studying the classification part, classification chapter. So, regarding the reproduction, the system of reproduction in fungi, and the different classes have been formed, and based on the mycelium structure also, these classes have been formed. So you have to remember which mycelium is aseptate and branched, or which is septate, which is branched and septate, which is aseptate, not having any septum. Like mycelium of phycomycetes is aseptate and sinusotic. Sinusotic and aseptate mycelium will be found where? In the class Phycomycetes. Ascomycetes, septate, mycelium is septate and septum is present. That is, septate is present. And they are in the dikaryon stage, as I said just now, along with basidiomycetes fungi. And in basidiomycetes also, mycelium is branched and septate. They are also in dikaryon stage. Like this, you have to remember the differences in these classes. Questions can come from this. And deuteromycetes is imperfect. No sexual phase is there. So the sexual phase, when was clearly defined by the DNA linkage, etc., have been kept in the other classes, maybe in the ascomycetes and basidiomycetes. Apart from this, children, you have to go through the plant kingdom and animal kingdom in this chapter, and I think everybody is well aware of plants which are having chlorophyll and are autotrophs, or preparing their food by the process of photosynthesis. Cell wall is there, which is in the cells, which is made up of cellulose, and the chloroplast is there, which is having the plastids are there, which is having chloroplast containing chlorophyll, that is the green pigment in the green, all the green plants. And the other coloring pigments are xanthophyll and carotene, which are responsible for your red and orange and yellow colors. So these are the pigments which are there in the plasmids, in the plastids, which are containing the pigments, coloring pigments. And about from a very small plant, there are huge trees which are there in our planet. So about them we will be studying separately. And these are the special features of plants, right? There are other features also. So I talked about the important ones, and then kingdom animals also we are well aware. So separately we will study about the kingdom plants and animals, the different types of animals, different types of plants, and their essential features separately in your class 11. So about the special features of animals also you all know. There in the animal cell, what is not there, the cell wall is not there, only plasma membrane is there. In animal cell, centrosome is there, which is not there in the plant cell. Centrosome initiates the cell division. It is near the nucleus. All are eukaryotic. Plants are also eukaryotic. Animals are also eukaryotic. Well-defined nucleus is there. Nuclear membrane is there. Cytoplasm is of course there. So these are the important features of animal cell. Other cell organelles are common in plants and animals, except lysosomes. They are not generally found in plant cells. Mitochondria, your Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum, rough and smooth both, they are found in these cells of all the eukaryotic animals and plants. So in my next video, I will come with some other important points of other chapters. And here in the book of NCERT, in this chapter, you have also to know about or study about viruses, viroids, prions and light chains. So you just go through these. They are not very difficult to understand. As it is written here, in the 5 kingdom classification of Whittaker, there is no mention of light chains and some acellular organisms like viruses, viroids and prions. These are briefly introduced here. So brief introduction of these classes will be there in this part. So detail we will study in the next chapters which will follow. So I close my video here today, and in my next videos I'll come with some other important features of the chapters and other chapters as well. Thank you very much. Stay blessed and wish you the very best in all your endeavors. Thank you.